Hello, it's Reviews Day Tuesday, and today I am going to review Star Wars Rogue One, also known as Rogue One, a Star Wars story. As always with my reviews, my plan is to be spoiler-free, so you should be okay to watch this review if you haven't seen the film yet. My guide is going to be what I would be happy to know if I hadn't seen the film yet. However, if you want to see the film with absolutely no knowledge whatsoever about the film, or the plot, or the characters, then please don't watch this review, because although I'm not going to include spoilers, I am going to be talking about those things a little bit. So, Rogue One is the first standalone Star Wars film. It's set just before the events of Episode 4, the original first Star Wars film. It stars Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso. She is the daughter of the designer of the Death Star, and she is trying to help destroy it with the help of several people, including Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, his droid K2SO, played by Alan Tudyk, the pilot Bodhi Rook, played by Riz Ahmed, and Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus, played by Donnie Yen and Jiang Wen. I really enjoyed this film. I felt like it weaved in well with the main Star Wars series. There are characters and plots and places and nods which tie in well, and some nice moments for fans of Star Wars. And also, as you might expect of a standalone film, I felt it could be enjoyed alone, without liking or knowing much about the Star Wars universe. The story is relatively simple and can be easily picked up, and none of the "oh, so that's how we got here" stuff was so in your face that you felt like you were missing something if you didn't get it. Which is good, because the world of Star Wars is so vast now that it's easy to get bogged down. But because in this film all of the main characters are new people, and because the plot isn't that complicated, essentially it's just a bunch of people coming together to do a thing, it's quite a nice entry point or one-off visit to the galaxy far, far away, and it made me want to watch episodes 4 to 6 again. I enjoyed the characters a lot. There wasn't the most character development, we didn't spend that much time on that, but the characters had the next best thing going for them, which is that they were interesting before we met them. You know, Rook and Imwe and Baze. I love Felicity Jones as an actor, and I liked her as Jyn. She had a darkness, a toughness, which I enjoyed. She had a certainty about her, which I liked. There was a great quote from her, which I can't remember exactly, but it was about chance. It was like they would take this chance, and then this chance, and then this chance, and they would keep going until they won or ran out of chances, and I feel like that summed her up pretty well. There were plenty of moments when she was faced with difficult tasks, and you know, in some things there is a tendency for you to see, you know, like the character wavering at the start line, or wondering if this is what they should be doing, or even just a quip about how did we get here. But not Jyn. She's already gone. She's already on her way. And Cassian had that about him as well. He'd be like, this has to happen because we need to get here, so you have to do this because that is the way that we get to here. I am so good at remembering dialogue, and I liked Cassian. We didn't find out much about him. We found out that there was more to know about him, but we didn't get much further than that. But I liked how Diego Luna played him. But all the main characters I thought were pretty strong. I really liked the relationship between Imwe and Baze. Also in the main team we have Jyn as sort of the leader, and then lots of men of colour. So I felt like the film overall was pretty ethnically diverse, which was great. There was a gender imbalance though, which I found a bit distracting sometimes. Compared to The Force Awakens, I would say that The Force Awakens has more humour. Almost all of the funny moments come from K2SO, who I loved, a great addition to the Star Wars droids, I thought. So the film felt less dynamic, maybe, because so much of the humour was coming from that one character, and maybe because all of the main characters who we were spending the most time with, you know, had this one goal, this one trajectory that they were all following. I guess that's the downside of having, you know, a relatively simple story, and having an obvious goal as well. You know, we know what the goal is very early on in the film, and we also know, kind of, also, what the result is because of episode 4. So the excitement comes more from meeting these characters and seeing where they're going. I think that makes it sound like I didn't really like this film, but I loved this film. I felt it had a different feel, but I quite liked the feel. I liked the characters a lot, and I liked them immediately, and I enjoyed where it went and how it got there. So yeah, if I was going to rank all of the Star Wars films, I think I would place it pretty highly. I like having, you know, new ways to look at the world of Star Wars, and new ways to think about the other films. I will give Rogue One 4.3 out of 5. So that's my little review of Rogue One. I would love to know what you think about the film if you have seen it, and no spoilers if possible, but if you do want to include spoilers in comments, please just signpost them a bit. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.